Hello and welcome, my name's Emily, and today we're going to be playing the fourth and final part of Dear Esther. Now actually, this is not the part that I wanted to start on. There's a good reason why they don't give you a save option, because I had to go through it all again, which took about 15 minutes, but you remember last time when I jumped into the pool of water, and then I had this memory of a hospital bed? Yeah, it's not the same this time. Which is freaking, like, there's a reason you need to play this game over and over again, because they give you so many new things every time. So I'm just gonna let you guys see. This is what I came upon. It's the crash. It's the crash that Esther died in. I'm not sure whose car is whose. Don't like those noises though. That looks pretty bad. I get the feeling that was Esther's, because this one looks relatively normal. So if you haven't actually watched the other three parts, I would definitely recommend, well, I guess both these have the windows shattered at least, but that's not nearly as bad. That has to be the one that collided with her. Yeah, I would absolutely recommend that you go and watch the other three parts, because none of this will make sense. You definitely have to go watch the other three parts to get the storyline. It is all very like casual exploration, the music caught me off guard, exploration type game. However, the story is very important, and without it, you know, it's just looking around at stuff, but the story is the biggest part of the game, so I definitely recommend it. And now we just have to get up to the surface again for the next part for, well, we're almost there. For, the beacon, I think it was called the beacon, is the very last part. So, and that's the thing that we saw at the beginning. Actually, if you go back and look, there was a beacon that was flashing right behind the mountain. Do you remember the mountain where I carved in the two lines, the two parallel white lines, because I didn't want anyone to come find me? It was right behind that mountain, or that big hill, I guess. It's mountain hill, I don't know, where there was a beacon that was flashing red. So that'll be interesting to see what that is. Someone suggested that the caves actually, they might symbolize inside my own mind, with all the memories and everything, which would make sense with both the hospital bed and the cars, the car crash. So I don't know, we're gonna see, we're gonna find out. I have a couple notes here, a couple scientific notes from my science friend about all the things. All the things that I've been guessing wrong about, like, oh, I don't know, molecules, synapses, all that crap. But here we are, we're at a new location. Again, there's the candles that are lit just prematurely. Like, I was not here, definitely was not here. Oh, and there's a whole giant ton of them. Ton of candles. I'm assuming this is where I've been camping out, maybe? Because that other house that I went to was just totally uninhabitable. The little cottage up on the hill. Just completely uninhabitable. This is beautiful with the moon like this.
I wish I could have known Donnelly in this place. We would have had so much to debate. Did he paint these stones or did I? Who left the pots in the hut by the jetty? Who formed the museum under the sea? Who fell silently to his death into the frozen waters? Who erected this godforsaken aerial in the first place? Did this whole island rise to the surface of my stomach, forcing the gulls to take flight?
Okay, I don't want to go this way yet. I have to go around and check that out first. That was very, aggressive. So far, I can't talk today. So far, he's been very just kind of pondering, but I think now he's starting to fully realize the extent of what's going on. Let's go this way first. This game, like I said, is all exploration, so I have a lot of new subscribers. If you're here and you haven't seen the first three parts, definitely go check those out. But yeah, Dear Esther is very good for if you're having, you know, a stressful day, or you're anxious about something, or just a bad day in general. If you play, even if you watch someone play Dear Esther. Oh, can I go there? Nope. Nope, I cannot. Oh god, oh god. Nope, no, 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 nope.
Come back.
Oh, dear lord, don't do that. Holy crap. So don't go that way. Ever. That was slightly terrifying. We're gonna go see what's going on over here. It's not like, I mean, I've seen something like this before, but it's not like the other things on the walls for the most part. Doesn't that look like a circuit? It looks like a circuit to me. Then again, I could be totally wrong. I was wrong about everything else. I was wrong about the ethanol and stuff like that. The esters. I did say before that esters, someone had said that the like H and the O and the C and all that was connected was an ester. However, I was also corrected on that where it's not an ester, that's just symbols for ethanol, which makes sense because Esther, not Esther, well, technically Esther, but Esther, she died in a drunk car crash, so that makes sense that he would be obsessing over the alcohol. And, let's see what else. Am I allowed to walk on this? It's kind of dangerous, isn't it? It's just this single candle. And the music stopped. What else was there? Let's see. Oh, he said you can actually get esters if you react alcohol, ethanol, with carboxylic acid, which is like things like vinegar, stuff like that. Oh, see, this is where I came from. Around here. This is where, because I was up here and I was like, oh, I don't want to go that way yet. I believe. Let me check. I'll check. Yeah, it's essentially the same way. But he also said that if something is fermenting, it can produce, let me see, let me read off my thing here. It can produce acetic acid, which is a carboxylic acid, or ethanol, which is also, well, not a carboxylic acid, I lied. Ethanol is just ethanol. And if both are present, there's a tiny chance that esters can be formed. Now, that may all seem very confusing and very scientific and all that, and it is. However, the point of that is if something is fermenting, which...
Fire and soil, I chose fire. It seemed the more contemporary of the options, the more sanitary. I could not bear the thought of the reassembly of such a ruin. Stitching arm to shoulder and femur to hip, charting a line of thread like traffic stilled on a motorway, making it all acceptable for tearful aunts and traumatized uncles flown in specially for the occasion. Reduce to ash, mix with water, make a phosphorescent paint for these rocks and ceiling.
So yeah, he has been making the paint. Has been painting everything. Shoot, I want to get up there. Alright, so we just went up here. Like I was saying before with esters being formed, the real thing you need to pay attention to there is fermenting, which could allude to a rotting corpse. Which is pretty... what is this? That's pretty gross. But, I mean, it makes sense if someone's dead. Is this a computer? Oh, God. I know exactly what this is. Look, you can... or listen. For a second there, you could, like, hear people. Look, this is clearly, well, pills. Yeah, this is all just remnants. Pills, I'm assuming, because... well, I mean... I have been wandering around quite a while. I could be taking quite a lot of pills. But, I mean, I had the thing with my femur where it was broken, but look, it's a not rehabilitation. Shoot, what is that called? It shocks people and it re-ups their heart. I wish I could remember the name of the machine. And someone in the comments is going to be like, oh, it's this thing. Thanks, I know. It's just, I couldn't think of it at the time. Resuscitation, is that it? I think that's it. I don't know. But that's a little creepy that that's like a little shrine for it. Oh man, dude. Protagonist guy. You've got some weird things going on. So we just came back down again. Now we're going this way. And I feel like I've seen this before. Maybe not. This looks very similar to the beginning. Maybe that's what it is. Oh, here's the thing. This was the ethanol, I suppose. But it doesn't look like it this time. Look, it says DN. What is DN? DN. It's all DN. The guy's name was Donnelly, but I don't think... I don't know. Oh dear, is this Esther? Can't tell. It's just a picture, an old picture. I feel like we're getting way farther into the madness at this point. I'm assuming that's what's going on, is just madness, because, you know, look at all these candles and everything. And just traversing this entire landscape just over and over. Because you know he hasn't just been here once. You know it's been a lot of times. Do I want to know what this is? Oh jeez, this is the wreck. So this has to be in his mind. Oh my god, these noises are freaking me out. So that has to be, this has to be in his head. This can't be a real island, because how would he get these parts, bring them here? Or maybe he did, maybe this is just his way of coping. But with the surgical equipment, that could have been either him or Esther. I'm assuming with the machine, that thing, resuscitation, whatever it's called, that was to do with Esther, because
by the roadside,
she would need
by
it.
The exit for Damascus, all ticking and cooled, all feathers and remorse, all of these signals routed like traffic through the circuit diagrams of our guts, those badly ridden boats torn bottomless in the swells, washing us forever ashore.
He's getting much more aggressive. Light from heaven shone around him. Light from heaven shone around him. This is becoming less peaceful and more very creepy. I'm gonna go this way. Because you notice he is getting much more belligerent every time he says something now, and it's much less too every time. Am I allowed to go this way? This really is, this whole thing is just an interesting experience. Oh, violin. Dead end. Can I go up here? Not liking these noises.
From here, I can see my armada. I collected all the letters I'd ever meant to send to you, if I'd have ever made it to the mainland, but had instead collected at the bottom of my rucksack, and I spread them out along the lost beach. Then I took each and every one, and I folded them into boats. I folded you into the creases, and then, as the sun was setting, I set the fleet to sail. Shattered into 21 pieces, I consigned you to the Atlantic, and I sat here until I'd watched all of you sink.
And you notice they're not sunk. You know, they're still there, they're still floating. Which means they can't be real. Because they would be long gone by now. All these letters would be way gone. So this looks like an actual dock. Because you'll notice, you know. Yeah, it's definitely a dock. Oh, Jesus. On a sudden, a light from heaven shone around him, and he fell to the ground. Is that of a sudden? Might be of a sudden. Those eggs? What are those? Those are eggs. Not liking this whole thing, honestly. Really, it's very creepy. It's become very creepy. It was before just about learning about this guy and everything that's going on, but at this point it's just creepy, you know? This was actually meant to be a relaxing game, and it was. It was very relaxing for the first 2 parts, and then it started to get kinda weird, and then kinda, you know, kinda a little bit anxious and a little bit confused and just a teeny little bit scared. 'cause, you know, it's like a psychological horror. Those are the best. Those are the best kinds of horror. Like, Hitchcock... Okay, this is as far as I can go. Hitchcock is, like, the best kind of horror that you can do. Is where it's not, like, inherently scary, it's just, you know, everything just starts to kind of pile up, and it all just sort of invades your brain all at once, and it's hard to really wrap your head around. That's the best kind of horror, in my opinion. That's just me, though, but I think it takes a much bigger toll, and it really freaks you out a lot more than, like, a quick jump scare. Which, I don't know if this is meant to be horror, necessarily. I think it's just meant to tell the story in a sort of creepy way. But in its own right, I feel like it is a, you know, a special brand of horror.
When Paul keeled over dead on the road to Damascus, they resuscitated him by hitting him in the chest with stones gathered by the roadside. He was lifeless for 21 minutes, certainly long enough for the oxygen levels in his brain to have decreased and caused hallucinations and delusions of transcendence. I'm running out of painkillers, and the moon has become almost unbearably bright.
That was something you saw at the shrine, was the painkillers. It was a bottle of painkillers. But why did he need the painkillers, unless he was actually in pain? Well, I mean, he did have the femur that was broken. Should I go this way, or should I go this way? Alright, so we're back here after fruitless exploration that actually yielded nothing, because I'm stupid, but we found the path. And we found some weird music as well. Slightly unnerving music.
I've begun my voyage in a paper boat without a bottom. I will fly to the moon in it. I've been folded along a crease in time, a weakness in the sheet of life. Now you've settled on the opposite side of the paper to me. I can see your traces in the ink that soaks through the fiber, the pulped vegetation. When we become waterlogged and the cage disintegrates, we will intermingle. When this paper aeroplane leaves the cliff edge and carves parallel vapor trails in the dark, we will come together.
Okay. And as he was proceeding on his, what does that say? Journey. And as he was proceeding on his journey. Oh, should I go this way? Did I come this way? I didn't come this way. Well, shoot, there's just so much. There's so much to explore and I never know. Okay, I'm gonna read everything. And was come near to Damascus. Don't like this music. It's slowly getting louder. And he was...
If only Donnelly had experienced this, he would have realized he was his own shoreline, as am I. Just as I am becoming this island, so he became his syphilis, retreating into the burning synapses, the stones, the infection.
Syphilis is not a good disease when you can't treat it. And he was 3 days without sight. And neither did he eat nor drink. I think you would die in 3 days not doing that, wouldn't you? Shoot, I want to go look at the other thing. I want to go look at the other path that I didn't explore. This is going to be a very long and convoluted episode of Dear Esther. But I really want to make sure I get everything. There was one thing that I noticed that I missed in the first part. No, the second part. The buoy. Was right before you got to the cabin. With the zigzaggy up the hill, if you remember that. There was a giant hole, and the thing that he said in relation to that was, how many shepherds have fallen into this abyss? Just thought that was worth noting. I don't have a explanation for it, but thought that was worth noting. So this is just top of the hill. Wow, that's actually very pretty. It's amazing how they just put this much detail into this game. Because you'll notice, look, there's little things floating in the wind. Of all the games that I've played, this is definitely the strangest, but it's also the one that's made me think the most. And question the most, because I don't know a lot about like science and all that, and with the ethanol and the esters and everything, I had no clue what any of that was. But to just put together all these pieces. So let's just review. I don't remember what it said at the very beginning, but this is the part that I think was really important. Okay, so, and as he was proceeding on his journey, I think there were 3 days where he was without sight, and he neither drank nor ate, basically, is what it is, altogether. So that's where we left off in this story. See, it continues up there, and we're getting closer to the beacon. I feel like once we hit the beacon, we're gonna really, it's gonna just come to a climax, and we're just gonna understand everything. Maybe. Maybe we won't. Maybe that's the whole point of the game, is you just never know what's going on. And here's more exploration to do. I'm gonna visit this.
Like a nail, like a hangnail, like a drowning man climbed onto the wheel, drunk and spiraled, washed onto the lost shore under a moon as fractured as a shattered wing. We cleave, we are flight and suspended, these wretched painkillers, this form inconstant. I will take flight. I will take flight.
So he just wants basically to get away from everything. All the memories and everything. He just wants to be with Esther, but Esther is dead. You have to understand. Which means if he's gonna get away and be with her, then he's taking his own life. Here is the, well, this isn't ethanol this time. Oh, I think that one right there is ethanol. And then the rest of it, I wouldn't know. So he's been everywhere, because, you know, all of these paintings are all done by him. He's been all over this mountain. And, oh geez, there's a fence that's very out of place. And it came to pass that as I made my journey... Okay, I need to go up there to see the rest of it. I'm actually, like, this is a very concerning game. Like, what is happening? And it came to pass that as I made my journey... and was... shoot, this is hard to see. And was some night. Oh shoot.
Come back.
Don't do that. This is the only time I've ever been able to fall off of something in the game. So I did not expect that. Was this night unto Damascus. Afternoon? Suddenly, the shone from heaven. Suddenly then shone from heaven, I believe, a great light round about me, and could not see.
He was not drunk, Esther.
For the
He
glory.
was not drunk at all. He had not drunk with Donnelly or spat Jakobsen back at the sea. He had not careered across the lost shores and terminal beaches of this nascent archipelago. He did not intend his bonnet to be crumpled like a spent tissue by the impact. His windscreen was not star-studded all over like a map of the heavens. His paintwork etched with circuit diagrams, strange fish to call the gulls away. The phosphorescence of the skid marks lighting the M5 all the way from Exeter to Damascus.
So he's really mad at the drunk driver. It's weird though that he would say he was not drunk. He wasn't drunk at all. Maybe that was the excuse. Maybe the excuse was that he was drunk, but he really just careened head on. Okay. For the glory that... Oh, period. That light being led by the hand of them. That's all. Oh, there's more up there. Don't worry, there's plenty more. Plenty more where that came from. That were with me. What is that? That were with me. Came unto. Into? Came into. Shoot, I'm stuck. Oh, it's much windier up here. Damascus. I still don't understand the Damascus thing, but I really think it's like... I can hear noises. I really think it's a code name for something. Maybe I'll understand when we get to the beacon, but for now I don't understand it. This is all very strange. This is different.
Run out of places to climb. I will abandon this body and take to the air.
I'm not gonna jump off this beacon, am I? That's not the reason why I'm coming up here. Oh.
I have burnt my belongings, my books, this death certificate. Mine will be written all across this island. Who was Jakobsen? Who remembers him? Donnelly has...
Is that me? Am I Jakobsen?
Who was Donnelly? Who remembers him? I have painted, carved, hewn, scored into this space all that I could draw from him.
Oh, don't.
There will be another to these shores to remember me. I will rise from the ocean like an island without bottom, come together like a stone, become an aerial, a beacon, that they will not forget you. We've always been drawn here. One day the gulls will return and nest in our bones and our history. I will look to my left and see Esther Donnelly flying beside me.
Oh, that was her last name?
And see Paul Jakobsen flying beside me.
Oh, Paul Jakobsen,
They will leave
okay.
white lines carved into the air to reach the mainland, where help will be sent.
Don't. Don't. No! Why would you do that? Don't do this. Don't do this. Don't jump off a beacon. This guy was seriously very mentally disturbed, so please just... Oh, what is that? I never saw that. Oh my god. Am I falling or am I flying? I'm a bird now! Did you see that? Did you see the little shadow? Saying come back, come back. Esther, Esther. I don't know if you can hear that. It's whispered. I'm just trying to take everything in. Just the whole game. See, I'm a bird and you saw the shadow again. There I am. You can hear the flat line. Sorry, there's guitar in the back. My sister's strumming away through all this. Is that the end? Maybe that's the end? I guess that's the end. I can still faintly hear it. But it's just the waves crashing. Wow. That was not like anything I've ever played before. Still a lot of unanswered questions. Still a lot of wondering what the hell really happened. But maybe you guys can piece together the puzzle. Maybe you can tell me in the comments, you know, what you think, what your theories are on the whole thing. Now that you've seen the whole thing, what do you think happened? Because I have some ideas, but it's not all forming. But, you know, in the end, he escaped. You know, he escaped all the memories and all the sadness and all the, you know, just devastation and the death. And he became a bird! Which isn't actually the answer to all of life's questions. If you're feeling stressed or whatever, don't try to become a bird. It's not gonna work. But, yeah, I guess with this game, I just want to express that, you know, if you are dealing with something like, you know, fighting with your own memories, battling your own self in your head, like this character clearly was, you know, trying to find an escape, but you can't, you know, just feel free to send me a message. Just talk to me about it, because I know, you know, I know life is tough, and especially when you're battling yourself, life is really tough, So thank you all so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this playthrough. I know I definitely did. And if you want to see more games like this in the future, leave me a comment down below. If you want to see any games that you have suggestions for, that didn't really make sense grammatically, but if you have suggestions for games, please leave them down in the comments below as well. And I'll see what I can do about that. So thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye. Seriously, dude, she left a while ago. It's been like half an hour.
I like shoes too. Shoes are pretty good. Hats, shoes, just, man, that combination.
Perfect. Gonna get some tennis.
Freddy, I can see everything you're doing. I saw you. You were sabotaging me. Freddy, look at me directly in the eyes when you're talking to me.